The holiday season is here in Pokemon Go, and today we got the holiday event part 1 and the Winter Wonderland event tips and tricks, everything you need to know, so let's get right into it. But before we do, happy holidays. Okay, so let's actually get into it here. The Winter Holiday Event Part 1 going down December 18th at 10 a.m. to December 25th at 8 p.m. During this event, you will have a timed research task where you can choose from 2 following bonuses, 2 times Catch XP or 2 times Catch Stardust. Unless you need XP, definitely go with 2 times Catch Stardust. We'll also have the bonus of increased XP and Stardust from opening gifts during this event. Now, there'll also be Pokestop showcases during the event. I'm not sure what those Pokemon are yet, but probably some of the spawns. But speaking of the spawns will be Holiday Attire Pikachu, Alolan Sandshrew, Seal, Holiday Hat Eevee, Swinub, Holiday Standler, Holiday Spheal, Galarian Darumaka, Cryogonal, Bergmite, the new Sedaddle, and rare spawns for Sneasel, Pillow-Swine, and Amora. 2-kilometer eggs during the event that you can get from spinning Pokestops will be hatching Holiday Hat Eevee, Smoochum, Galarian Darumaka, and Amora. Do note that Eevees hatched will have a higher shiny odds in the eggs than they would in the wild. Probably something like 1 in 64. Raids during the event will have the Holiday Attire Pikachu, Alolan Sandshrew, Holiday Spheal, Crabrawler, and Sedaddle. And again, that Pikachu will have an increased shiny odds from the raids. 3-star raids will be Dugong, Lapras, Holiday Standler, and Undersea Holiday Glaceon. 5-star raids will be Kyurem until December 23rd, switching into Regigigas, and Mega raids will be Mega Abomasnow until the 23rd, switching into Mega Glalie. We'll also have exclusive new avatar items that you can check out on screen in the shop during this event, and new stickers. Definitely look pretty cute. Now, we also have some exclusive research going down during the event. Starting with the field research task, we have the task: open 5 gifts for that costume Pikachu encounter, catch 7 Ice-type Pokemon for a Shelder, catch 5 different species of Pokemon for a Delibird or a Spheal with the costume, catch 10 species of Pokemon for a Cubchoo with the costume, send 3 gifts and add a sticker to each for some Mega Abomasnow energy. There's also 7 other Pokemon which have research tasks that haven't been outlined yet, so check the website in the pinned comments to see the full list. We'll also have a free timed research during the event, which is going to be, like I mentioned, the one where you choose the path. Page 1 on screen, very simple. Then you're going to choose between 2 times Catch XP and 2 times Catch Stardust, and that will lead you to the 2 potential paths you choose, which the only thing that changes is whether you need to earn Stardust or XP for one of the challenges, but the encounters are all the same. That moves into the paid researches. Yes, we have a $2 timed research story you can buy. Remember to complete this before the end of the event or you will lose it. But it's going to be on screen, very simple, catching Pokemon using berries and catching different species of Pokemon, getting encounters with pretty much all of the wild spawns and raids, and you get that Holiday Psyduck, which is going to be a pretty rare shiny. Finally, the $5 Frosted Festivities research. We don't have all of the research unlocked yet, but on screen is going to be most of it, and it does get you, the hot chocolate pose and a couple cool other encounters and stuff. Was it worth $5? Probably not, unless you really want the pose, because poses do cost like $5 by themselves. That's not the only event I have to talk about though, because in this, we're also going to include a mini event in this event called the Winter Wonderland event. December 23rd at 10 a.m. to December 24th at 8 p.m. will be this event. We'll have the bonuses of 5 special trades each day during that event, trades requiring 50% less Stardust and 2 times XP from winning raid battles. We'll also have exclusive Pokestop showcases during that event, and also a raid day during that event. December 23rd from 2 to 5 p.m. will be a raid day for Weirdeer. Yes, the new Weirdeer Pokemon, technically the evolution of Standler, will be in Pokemon Go, but you can't evolve Standler to get it, you have to raid it. During this raid day, you'll have increased shiny odds for Weirdeer, which will be 1 in 10. You'll get 5 free daily raid passes from spinning photo discs, and the remote raid pass limit will be increased to 10 on the Friday and on the Saturday. So you can do 20 remote raids over the Friday and the Saturday. They don't have to be Weirdeer raids. Okay, that is a lot of events going down, so let's get into the tips on how to be prepared for each and every one of this event, starting with the best wild spawns. And there's actually some decent ones. Starting off with Alolan Sandshrew in the wild, which evolves into Alolan Sandslash, a Pokemon that sees play in both the Great League and the Ultra League. Definitely get yourself a good one there, and some candies for the Shadow version. Seal is also in there, which evolves into Dugong. We've seen Dugong have plenty of play in the Great League. Eevee wearing the Holiday Hat is going to be in the wild as well, which you can evolve into any of the Eeveelutions. The ones you want to look out for though are going to be Umbreon, which Umbreon does see play in both the Great League and the Ultra League. Also, you can evolve your Eevees into Sylveon, which is a decent fairy type raid attacker in the game and sometimes does see play in the Master League. Next up, Swinub, which evolves into Mamoswine. Mamoswine is one of the best ice type and ground type raid attackers in the game, so definitely go ahead and catch yourself some Swinubs to get XL candies for those Pokemon, specifically in their Shadow versions, and Mamoswine does see some play in the Master League. Standler's in there, which of course we can't evolve into Weirdeer right now, but maybe maybe one day we will be able to evolve Stanler into Weirdeer, which could be pretty cool. Spheel's in there, which does have the costume, so we can't evolve it. But Walrein is great to get candies for because Walrein is good in both the Great League and the Ultra League. Galarian Amaka, a Pokemon finally commonly in the wild now, evolving into Galarian Manitan, one of the best Ice-type raid attackers in the game. Definitely go ahead and grab yourself some of those. Ice, I find, is actually one of the most useful types for raids as well, which is great. Bergmite's in there, which evolves into Avalugg. Avalugg does see some play in the Master League and the Hisuian version of Avalugg even more, so definitely grind some candies if you missed out on those. Sneasel's in there, which evolves into Weavile. Weavile is a good Ice-type and Dark-type raid attacker in the game. Pillowswine's in there, which we already talked about the meta relevance of Mamoswine. And finally, Amora's in there, which evolves into Aurorus, a good Great League and a good Ultra League Pokemon to get candies for, and a pretty rare Pokemon at that. Now, you notice there's one Pokemon I skipped over, Cetoddle, because that is the new Pokemon evolving into Cetitan for 50 candies. Let's talk about this new Pokemon, Cetitan, and is it any good? Now, Cetitan is going to be a pure Ice-type Pokemon, have an attack of 208, defense of 123, and stamina of 347, which is the 5th highest stamina in the game. Pretty bulky there, with a max CP at level 50 of 3,519. And this Pokemon is not that bad. Looking at it as an Ice-type raid attacker with the moveset of Ice Shard and Avalanche, without including Mega Pokemon, Cetitan actually has the number 7 overall spot. So it's actually not even a bad Ice-type raid attacker. Now, granted, Mamoswine is much more available and people already have those powered up and Mamoswine is just better. It could still be cool to have them if you want to have one for the Ice-type. I don't know. If you want to jump into PvP though, unfortunately, Cetitan's not going to be as great. Looking at this Cetitan versus the Great League meta right now, you're going to only see a 35.6% win ratio with a 64% loss ratio, which isn't good. In the Ultra League, however, it does perform a bit better, winning against 17 Pokemon in the meta, losing against 21. But I think where it does best and where Ice-type Pokemon generally do best is in the Master League, having 20 wins and 16 losses, over 50% win ratio, which is great, and mainly because it can just destroy all of some of these, you know, Dragon and Ground type Pokemon. Groudon gets destroyed by it, Garchomp, Ursaluna, Zekrom, Togekiss, these flyers as well. Overall, having that super high stamina stat, I could definitely see this Pokemon being pretty decent in the Master League. I still think there are probably some better options, like Hisuian Avalugg is probably just better. I still think it's a Pokemon to consider for the Master League. With that out of the way though, let's move on to the raids. What are the best raids to go after during this event? Now, in the 1-star raids, nothing too crazy. If you do want to try to get that Pikachu with the new costume, it will have boosted odds in raids, so definitely go for it there. But other than that, I would probably avoid the raids because all these Pokemon are spawning in the wild or in field research, so you can get them for free. In the 3-star raids, however, we do have Lapras in there, which I do want to mention. Lapras, although has not seen a lot of play in the recent years, is a Pokemon with a single move update. I could definitely see it coming back into the meta, so definitely consider yourself getting a Lapras. Finally, we do have that Glaceon wearing the Undersea Holiday outfit, which is a pretty rare costume if you want to go after that. But the main raids I want to talk about are going to be the 5-star raids. Kyurem is in raids, which is one of the best Master League Pokemon and one of the best Ice-type raid attackers in the game, and even a good Dragon-type raid attacker. So overall, a great Pokemon to raid. This Pokemon has been in raids many times before, but has just seen more increased play in the recent years. That will then switch into Regigigas, which is a raid you can definitely avoid unless Regigigas does get Crush Grip during this event. It has been leaked that we could potentially be seeing a new legacy move on Regigigas. That could be a Pokemon to consider raiding. I'll have a video on that if it does get released. As far as the Mega raids go though, Mega Abomasnow and Mega Glalie, 2 great Ice-type Megas. You're definitely going to want to have Mega evolved for this event, which we'll talk about in a bit, but definitely grind some Mega energy for these Pokemon through the field research or through the Mega raids if you don't have any. Now, no matter, one thing about the raid day I do need to mention is going to be the 2 times XP we're getting over the whole weekend there, the 23rd and the 24th, which means doing a legendary raid on a Lucky Egg is getting you 40,000 XP per raid. Now, I know a lot of you guys have holiday stuff you have to do with family, and I completely respect it, but if you do have some time to sliver out a raid or 2 on a Lucky Egg, you can grind a lot of XP during that Winter Wonderland event by just doing a bunch of raids. Definitely consider it. Finally, I do want to quickly mention the 2-kilometer eggs, and are they going to be worth it, or are you better focusing on the 7-kilometer eggs or the other types of eggs? Overall, the 2-kilometer eggs are not bad by any means. You have an increased shiny odds on that shiny Eevee I mentioned, but also we have shiny Smoochum, which is a rare baby Pokemon, Galarian Darumaka, which we talked about the meta relevance of that earlier, and Amora as well, which is both a rare shiny and a meta relevant Pokemon. So overall, I would definitely recommend focusing on those 2-kilometer eggs during this event. Okay, that's the bulk of the tips, but now let's talk about a very important tip I want to talk about, which are candy tips. There are so many great spawns in the wild during this event that you want extra candy for, so let's go through how to grind grind a lot of candy during this event. Number 1, use pineapple berries on any Pokemon you want extra candy for and any of the meta relevant ones. Regular pineapples will multiply your catch candy by 2 and silvers by 2.34. Definitely drop those pineapples and stock them up. Next up, Mega Evolve a Pokemon. You don't know when you Mega Evolve a Pokemon, any Pokemon you catch and shares a type with that Mega, you'll get more candy, XL candy, and XP for catching a Pokemon of those types. Obviously, it's an ice focused event, so the 2 Megas I'm going to Mega Evolve are going to be either Mega Abomasnow or Mega Glalie. Personally, I would recommend the Mega Abomasnow because it does have the grass subtyping, which means if you run into any grass types, you'll get even more candy for that. But if all you have is Mega Glalie, you can Mega Evolve that because ice will cover a lot of different Pokemon during this event. Next up, you can trade Pokemon. It's the season of timeless travels, and we have the return of the bonus of guaranteed XL candy when trading away Pokemon. So if you do catch, 100 Galarian Darumaka's or 100 Swinubs, you can trade all those away to get 100 XL candy for one of them, and that can be a great way to grind even more candies after your grinds are done and after you've caught all these Pokemon. Definitely trade away 100 Pokemon every single day during this season. It's an underrated tip. However, there's another secret bonus and another secret tip I want to mention here about trading, and that's going to be your 5 special trades you get each day on the 23rd and the 24th during the winter holiday event. There are 2 ways you can go about this. Number 1, go ahead and do your special trades. If you have the time to meet up with, local friends that you've been lucky friends with a while, although obviously it's the holiday season, it might be tough, you can go ahead and do your lucky trades to try to get Shundos. But a second tip is going to be to trade for PvP IVs. If you don't own Pokemon Go, you want PvP IVs on your PvP Pokemon, which means low attack, high defense, high stamina. If you want to know why, video up here. But it's really hard to get legendary Pokemon with PvP IVs in Pokemon Go. The only way to do it is through trades. So if you can find a friend in the local area, which you've never traded before with, you've never been friends with, add them and then do a bunch of mirror trades with Registeel, Guzzlord, Tapu Fini, Cobalion, Virizion, Giratina. All of those Pokemon are great options to mirror trade for PvP IVs. I followed this exact tip during a recent event when we had the 5 special trades. I forget what the event was called, but look what I was able to get. I was able to get this 115-13 Registeel, which is a rank 38 for Ultra League. This thing is a beast. Overall, trading for PvP IVs during the winter holiday event is definitely going to be worth something trying to do. Even though it is the holiday season, just try to maybe do 5 on one of the days if you can. Finally, to get more candies, you can transfer Pokemon during a 2x transfer candy event. The next one will be in January during a 2x transfer candy spotlight hour. So definitely hold on to some Pokemon if you can until then. Transfer them then for 2x transfer candy. And finally, that brings us to our last section of the video, which is our platinum medal tips. You need 35 platinum medals to go from level 48 to 49 in Pokemon Go. Which ones should you work on during this event? Let's talk about it. Number 1, of course, the Skier medal. Catch 2,500 ice-type Pokemon. I don't even have to explain this. They're everywhere. Catch them. Finish this medal. Next up, the Breeder medal. Hatch 2,500 eggs. We have those special 2-kilometer eggs during this event, so definitely try to focus on hatching them if you can. Next up, we have the Pikachu fan medal. Catch 1,000 Pikachus. We have that new costume Pikachu. Catch as many as you can of them to work on this medal. Next up, we have the Rising Star medal. Defeat 150 species of Pokemon in raids. Take a look at the raid roster we have during this event. If there's any of these Pokemon you've never raided at least once, do it once to get a point towards the Rising Star medal. For example, Sedaddle, it's a new Pokemon. I've never raided it. I'm going to do 1 raid for Sedaddle just to get a point towards this medal. And the final medal will be the Showcase Star medal. Win 100 Pokestop showcases. We have both showcases during the Winter Holiday event Part 1 and also the Winter Wonderland event. So there's plenty of showcases to try to win during these next week. So drop into showcases to try to win this medal. And with that being said, guys, that is the Winter Holiday event Part 1 and the Winter Wonderland event tips and tricks. Hope you guys are already excited for this holiday season. I know a lot of you guys don't even play Pokemon Go during the holiday season because you're spending time with your family, which you should. But if you do end up opening the game, I hope these tips have helped you get you prepped for it. We'll see you guys with the tips for Holiday event Part 2 and follow for tips. Peace.